Hello everybody, it's Mr. Wilson here again. I need my tuner, don't I? Should keep my tune on top of the guitar. I was asked to do a tutorial about if you're entirely new to a guitar. So if you were entirely new to a guitar, you might have watched that one there. I thought I'd just do another little tutorial then. Just once you've bought your guitar and you're familiar with what the bits of the guitar are called, and you're familiar with, hopefully you've got a tuner like I have there, and so you've tuned your guitar, and when it goes out of tune, because that's the sad thing, guitars go out of tune pretty quickly, especially if they go from being very warm to very cold, or the other way round. They go out of tune, so it's really important that we know how to tune our guitars. I thought I'd teach you maybe a couple of chords so that we can start maybe to think about moving on to songs. Now, I think the first chord that I ever learnt was this one here, and I'm going to come in closer so you won't see me, lucky you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the chord of E minor. Don't worry about why they've got these funny names, just go with it for the moment, and it will help you as we go, and you'll learn more as we go along. Okay, right, so I'm going to press down the strings at the second fret. These little metal bars are called frets. Okay, so we've got, that's the start, that's the nut, if you remember if you watch the video of me telling you about different bits of the guitar. Then this is the first fret, second fret, third fret, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and so on. Okay, now you'll notice that there are dots on some of the frets. Obviously, if you're playing here, I can't see those dots from here, but the dots mean you get the first dot on a lot of guitars on the third fret, then on the fifth, then you get two on the seventh, then you got the ninth, then it leaves two spaces, and then you get two dots on the 12th fret. Okay, and then again it leaves two spaces before you get to the 15th fret. Okay, now it's kind of handy to know where you are on the guitar, and those dots help you. And obviously, obviously you can't see them. Most guitars, when I turn it over like that, if you can see on my neck, they've got the dots in the same position as they are underneath. Okay, so I know if I'm playing my guitar and I can't see the neck like that there, but I can see, so that's the third fret, that's the fifth, and I can kind of, when I start to be playing things and I need to be moving my fingers about on the fretboard, then I think, that's where the third fret is, the fifth, and obviously if I know that's the fifth, I know that's the fourth, and so on. Okay, so chord we're going to learn, E minor to start with. So you could play it, because what we basically want to do, we want to hold down these two strings, the fifth string, or the A string, and the fourth string, or the D string. We want to hold those down at the second fret. Now, it doesn't mean we need our finger right on top of the fret there, because if you hold the string down right on a fret, it goes really dead. So you kind of need your finger in the middle of between both frets. So when we're saying we're playing at the second fret, it just means we're playing not on top of it and not past it. We're playing sort of halfway maybe. So we want to press down those two strings to make the E minor chord. Now, we'll just start as we mean to go on. We're not going to use our first finger. But Mr. Wilson, you just said, this is the trouble with guitar. There's a reason why we won't. What we're going to use, our second finger to press down the fifth string at the second fret, and our third finger to press down the fourth string at the second fret. Okay, and then I'm going to just strum. Strum basically means play all of the strings. I'm going to strum all of the strings just nice and gently. The reason why we want to use those two fingers, because this finger, if we bring it in and if we play the third string at the first fret, we suddenly play a different chord. We play E, or E major, just the root chord of the E family. Okay, So we have E, and if we take off that finger, suddenly we have E minor. Now, because it's only 2 strings, that's why it's a good chord to start with. But what you can start to practice is strumming there, and then put in your first finger, Now the important thing to think about when we're strumming is we want to think of your guitar as like your pet dog or your pet cat if you have one, or your pet guinea pig, rabbit, whatever. If you have a pet, if you don't have a pet, just imagine you have one for the second. And obviously, if we have a pet, we wouldn't be hitting it, we'd be stroking it. And if you notice, I'm starting to do that. I'm starting to do those strums in the patterns of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay. Only doing that because so many songs in popular music revolve around things that where you have 4 strums of a guitar or 4 beats, or 4 all in 4s. So it's really a good practice to start with, rather than just playing sort of 5 of them and then three of the other chord, or 6 and 2 or what have you. It's really good idea to start to get into the habit of that nice 4, and again just nice and stroking. Trying a bit. Doing lots of the best singer-songwriters in the world, at the end when they've finished a song, which they indicate to everyone that's the end of a song, instead of just doing that same strum at the end, they'll just make it slower, pass their pick across the strings much more slowly. Okay, so we've got E minor and we've got E, really important chords to know. If you could do the first thing you could do is just 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. If you could just practice holding those strings down. Now, what I hadn't said actually, and I really should have said, is that you need to. I did say about holding the string down on a fret and it sounds horrible. What you need to do really is to make sure when you are holding the string. So I'm holding that 5th string down, but I'm just barely holding it down. So I press down a bit harder, and suddenly when I press really hard, then you hear it resonates really nicely. Now your fingers might look a bit like that, okay, that's entirely normal, okay, and what happens after a bit of time is that the skin on the end of your fingers will start to get a bit harder, and so you'll become much more used to pressing strings down, okay. If you get used to using at least your first 3 fingers, because some chords later start to use all 4 fingers, if you can get used to pressing those down really nice and hard, then that'll make things better for you and easier for you as you carry on learning. Really important. And again, that's what sometimes puts people off playing guitar, as you think, oh, it doesn't sound very nice. Push your strings down really nice and hard, and then you get it. Otherwise, I get that kind of, all of a sudden, got that dead feeling as opposed to the nice sound resonating out. Okay, so those are your first 2 chords. You've got E minor, we've got E, okay? We'll just look at one more chord before we go. Right, so we're going to look at the chord of D. This is a chord really important. You're going to need your first 3 fingers. We're going to hold down the top string, the top E, the thinnest one, at the 2nd fret. then our first finger is going to hold down the third string at the second fret, and then just this third finger is going to hold down the second string at the third fret. And what you can do is just hold a chord down and just play those strings. Obviously not that fast. Just play the strings that you're holding down, because we want to hear those really, really bringing out again. If they're not held down, properly, then they're going to make that horrible dead sound, and we don't want that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The start of the tune was better than the end, but you get the idea. All we need to be doing really is practice holding those chords down. Hold those chords down, and then changing between them. Okay. If to start with it's taking you a long time, doesn't matter. If it's, and then you might need to. You're going to take your fingers off, and you're looking at where they're going to go, and then you've got to take them off again. I've got to think. Oh. Okay. You can do that, that's absolutely fine. These things don't happen by magic. It's just like learning to read, learning to write, learning how to do column addition, column subtraction, long division, whatever. It takes time and it takes practice. People aren't born knowing how to do these things, okay? But if you practice, that is the most important thing. If you don't practice, it won't happen, okay? It's not magic. But if you do practice, it's a really rewarding thing to learn, and then before you know it, you'll be able to then play along with other tutorials that I've got online, or with loads of other things. Okay, all right. Who knows where it will take you one day? Right. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you next time. See you later.